sure what you're going to see from your guys tonight. Had a hard time pulling away from them. What do you make of what you got out of your team tonight?
Well, I think that there was a lot of things were pointed out, especially on the defensive end. I mean, we were as bad defensively as we probably be, just in terms of awareness and adjusting, and we reverted back to just sort of doing whatever we thought we wanted to do, not what we were supposed to do. And those are things that we can get corrected. I mean, our awareness was, we had no idea what was going on the other side of the floor, and we got our rotations were slow. We got lost defensively a lot. And those are things that we get corrected. As I told the guys after the game, hey, this is a good thing for us because we know we've got a lot of work to do, as we knew, but this is proof that we do.
Is that why they shot so well from three? Is that what you attribute that to?
Yeah, I think so. They hit some very, very tough threes, but in a game like this, I mean, half their field goal attempts are threes, and why not? They get filling it, and we had to let down in the second timeout. We got off to a great start. Our defense was good, and then we just sort of let down. We subbed. We got to get those guys to understand when they come in. It starts with the defensive end of things.
Thad, was like Keita 2.0? Where did that aggressiveness come from? That seems like something I haven't seen from him yet.
Yeah, I think from the standpoint that's something that we've talked to Keita about a lot. We saw flashes of that last year in practice, and just playing with the consistency of being aggressive. I thought that offensively he was as aggressive as we wanted him to be. I mean, the baseline dunk, the finish, we've been begging him to do that on the court, and in a game we see it every now and then in practice. But I thought he and Mark both played with the aggressiveness we wanted them to.
Why do you think maybe Keita particularly was maybe hesitant to play that way when he was in last year?
Just youthfulness. I mean, you look at some of the freshmen today defensively, and this was all new. I mean, we had 3 guys today that have ever played a game in this building. So I think from that standpoint, this was a good thing for us.
Yeah, you mentioned Mark also being aggressive there. He and Keita both filling it up today. It's just an exhibition, but going forward, when Jay Sean comes back from this ankle thing, will you be able to play those 3 guys together at the same time?
Yeah, absolutely. No question about that. Yeah, and I think that's something we've ran with that lineup in practice quite a bit, and the length really helps our defense as well.
There's no quickness issue there defensively though with those 3? Or?
Not really. I mean, JT can guard. He can guard anybody.
That is that the kind of game we're going to see from Jake Wan? Is that just kind of what kind of point guard he is? Kind of does a little bit of everything.
I thought that he was very good offensively today. Just in terms of the one turnover he had was in transition to Keita, which probably should have been a bounce pass or a skip to the other side. But that's kind of what he's done. He was a little bit hesitant at the beginning, but I thought he really did a nice job. I talked to him in a timeout about not settling in terms of the ball screen actions, and to his credit, he made some great reads off there.
That it seemed like, and I know you guys had a pretty distinct size advantage, but Mark seemed to make a more concerted effort to get some offense in the post. As you look for more from him this year, how important is that going to be for this game?
No question, because he's making his free throws. If we were to play the lineup we were just talking about, somewhere along the way we're going to have a size advantage, and we're trying to post those guys a little bit more in terms of Mark, JT, and Keita because of their size.
And then just with Trevor and Daniel and Dave, seemed maybe a little up and down, the 3 of them combined. How would you assess how they were?
Yeah, not bad. That's a position that nobody's ever played in here before, and they've got to watch their fouling. A couple of illegal ball screens, which we probably didn't wait on the screen, which puts them in a bad position. But I think Dave and Trevor got a shove in the back on offensive rebounds. So those are things when they're calling the game tight like that, you got to be able to adjust. And we didn't do that in the first half. Second half, we did a better job of it.
You mentioned that this was a first experience for a big piece of your team tonight. did you get about what you thought you would get from those young guys, and what do you expect then going forward after having this experience?
Yeah, well, I think, I thought they would play with a little bit more urgency on the defensive end. And we were reacting, not attacking on defense. But, you know, I think for those guys, this was a good thing. You know, that we literally thought about playing 2 exhibition games because we were so young this year. But, you know, hey, it is what it is. We got real bullets starting next Sunday.
You've played Walsh now 5 or 6 years in a row, and I think 8 or 9 times overall. Why do you continue to play Walsh? What do you get out of that? And I guess maybe how did that relationship come about?
Yeah, I like Jeff. You know, I think from the standpoint it benefits his program, and you know, he's been a good friend. He's helped me out in a lot of areas, and you know, that's a great program. I mean, they're going to win a ton of games this year, as they always do. So I don't know. He's taking good care of me for, you know, recruiting, that sort of thing.